Hi y'all, this is Pam at Pink Dragonfly Wingz, and here we are trying to do another video. This is week 14. I have no idea what week it is, but our paper says 14. Our last paper said 14. It amazes me that I think I'm a pretty smart person. I can handle things. But these freaking numbers just throw me for a loop. I think I'm back on track again. Way back at the beginning, I inserted a video that I hadn't planned on, and it's thrown me off ever since. So we're not going to worry, but this is going to be week 14, and we are going to make a lovely writing board for our journal. Now, you can make these any size that you want. These were just a couple of pieces of cardstock that I had left over, and I wanted it to be sturdy, you know, because what I want to be able to do with this is use it in our journal. Let's say we want to write on this page right here. You can insert this behind that page, and it gives you a hard surface to write on. That's not a big deal when there's nothing behind this paper. But what if we wanted to write on this paper? And we have this glued to the back. That's going to make it hard to write on. So you put your little page under here, straighten it out, and then you can journal and write on a hard surface. It'll make your writing a little better. So that's what we're going to make today. So the first thing that I did is on the back, I wanted some collage. This is the writing side. This is just to look at, to be pretty, to whatever you want to do. So we're going to start. This is my little card that I use to put my glue on so that I don't end up getting it everywhere. And so I'm just going to put some glue out here. And we're going to just willy-nilly, we're just going to pull out a paper and we're going to glue it on our book. So we're going to start in the corner. It doesn't matter if you go over the edges, because when we get finished, we're going to trim this off so that it's even. We're going to put this little piece right here just to make sure that all of our areas are covered. Now, this glue that I'm using is Scotch Tacky glue, and it does finish with a glossy shine. But I'm going to show you when we get done how we can deal with that, because the glossy shine is not really my favorite, but I like putting this down with this glue. So we'll work on that. Let's get another piece here. And oh, that side's pretty. So let's put it down here. Like I said, make sure you get your glue really good on the edges. And we can just put that right there along the edge because it already has a straight edge. Okay. And like I said, it doesn't really matter. Let's see what this piece looks like. I don't really want a piece of writing thing on the back of this, but how about this one? We can just cover it up, so we're not going to worry too much about it. We'll put this, yeah, we want it to be torn. And we'll kind of put it in an angle. We don't want it all to be straight and have somebody think that have our stuff together, do we? So we'll put this one on here. Let's get another one. This one has a little piece of writing paper stuff down in the bottom that I kind of like it. So we'll put it down here in this corner. Try to smooth this out as much as possible. Okay. Now this is a pretty cool piece, and I really like this. I don't remember what this came from when I made all of these little scraps. I used I watched a Louisa Heindel video where she made a whole bunch of scraps and dyed them and made them all cool and pretty. And so then I did that, and I love having these little pieces right here at. That's a pretty piece. It's kind of different, but we like different. This one has a little sewing on it. We'll put that right there. Also add just a little hint of color. As some of you may know, my little hint of color. Now that's a piece of tissue paper, and that's pretty. I'd like to use it, but let's save it for one of the top layers so that, oh, that's pretty. Okay, so let's put this up here at the top. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. As some of you may know, I do have a favorite movie. My favoriteest movie in the whole world is Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. I don't know why, but I absolutely love that movie. It is so funny. I can follow along. I can repeat the lines. I've seen it so many times. I can come home, especially used to when I was having a really hard day at work, and it had been extremely stressful. And I could come home and pop that movie in and just laugh. And it just would put me in such a good mood. Those two men have extraordinary acting abilities, and so lots of times when I'm crafting, you'll hear me say something about a hint of color, and that is referring to one of the scenes in the movie with Nathan Lane needing a hint of color, and I just die. It's just hilarious. So, how about that one right there? Now this, oh, that's not very sticky right there. I am putting more colors into this backing than I did on the other one. The main reason for that is because the other one will be in our April giveaway at the end of the month. And I wasn't real sure if color would be, you know, that's kind of iffy for some people who in the crafting world, especially in junk journaling. And so I didn't want to make something that someone might not like. So I kind of sticked with more neutral colors, the browns, the golds, those colors. And that's the reason why. This one is going in my journal, and I like color, so I'm not worried about it because I know where this one is going. where his home is going to be. So that works, and that's cool. And like I said, I usually keep the ones that we make on camera for myself, mainly because I never really know how they're going to turn out. And I want to make sure that if it turns out to be not so lovely, I guess I could say, that it's mine and somebody else doesn't have to get stuck with it. So that's the main reason that I do it that way. And because it's amazing, you know, and of course too, when I'm not on camera, if something goes wrong, I can trash it, I can start over, I can do lots of things that I can't necessarily do on camera. And you know, so I want my winners to get pretty things that they will like and enjoy. And even if you don't craft yourself, they make wonderful gifts for those friends that do craft. So keep that in mind as we're plugging along here. Let's see. I like that. It's got some purpley shine stuff on it. And it's a little bit different texture. It's more of a cardstock. The problem with this glue, until it dries a little bit, sometimes I can't tell if I have covered a spot or not. I actually think that is covered, but who knows? So, all right, we'll keep on working here. Let's get another little piece here. See if we can find one with some words on it. Here's some words. Tear these corners off because I don't necessarily want the inside to be. Oh, I hear somebody crying upstairs, so we must have had an accident and fell down, I'll tell ya. And then how about that one for right there? I need a little more glue. I really like that tissue paper there. And looks really pretty and fancy. Let's see what else we have here. That might work. Kind of different. Now I lost my space. And we need another something. And that might be kind of cool. And let's tear off our straight edge. And put this. That is I'm not very happy with how things are going cry. That is not a hurt cry. So his mama just got home from work and both boys ran to the door probably to greet her, and a collision or something occurred. So, okay, I think that we have that all glued. I'm going to put my paintbrush back in the water so it doesn't dry. And I'm going to try drying this for a little bit with my heat gun. And then we can kind of make sure that it's all stuck down and all covered and all of that. So I'm going to sit here with this and let this dry really well, and when it gets dry, we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. So don't go too far. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is dry and looks pretty cool, I think. In fact, I actually kind of like the glossy look on it a little bit. Anyway, but what we're going to do is on this side, because this is our writing side, we've got a little bit of glue that came out on the page. So I'm going to use my sanding block, and I'm going to just narrow down that, knock that glue down just a little bit so we have a little bit better, more smooth surface to deal with. I'm going to go around the edges to make sure that our edges are nice and smooth. Okay, a little bit up here on this end. And we want this part, this side, to be as smooth as we can, because this is going to be the side that we write on. So we want to knock all that glue back, get that out of the way. A little bit down here on this end. Now, I told you a while ago that if you didn't really like the shiny look, I'm going to go ahead and do this, even though I like this shiny look on this, just to show you. You can take your sanding block and lightly go across the edges, across the top of it, the whole surface. And it kind of smooths down. It smooths down where your pages have overlapped a little bit. Make those a little smoother. And it will knock back the shine just a little bit. I'm not going to do a whole lot because I like the shine on this. But if you wanted it a little less shiny even, you could keep on sanding that and get most of that shine taken back. So, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it. And we're ready to turn it over and do this side. Now, this is the side that we're going to put our paper on. And we're going to use this lady here just because I like her. And we used that lady last time. So we're going to make sure. Oh, wow. And it's a perfect fit. So I either I made it right, or it might be just a little long. We may have to cut just a tad off. But that's okay. We'll do that. All right. So we're going to get our little paintbrush here, wipe it off, and this time with our glue, and I'm sure I'm going to have to open that hole up a little bit, I am going to lay it, instead of putting it on that little card like I did before, this is going to be one solid piece. So I'm just going to put a lot of glue on here. And use my paintbrush to smooth it out to the corners. Get it glued on really, really well. Make sure our edges are glued down very securely. Wipe off a little bit of our glue. I might have put a little too much on there. We'll wipe off a little bit. And kind of go around the edges so we get all those globbies off. And then we're going to take our paper. I'm going to, excuse me, turn this around just a little bit so I can work from the side. We're going to take our paper and we're going to even it up right in the corner. And we have just a slight little second there before the paper adheres very, very well. Get our bone folder, work out any creases. I think we can probably ditch that napkin, get us a clean one. And smooth these off here. Let's fold that over for a little bit so we don't get glue on the back. And let's cut this right down the side here. Okay. And we have just a smidgen off of the top, just a little bit. It didn't quite fit, but it fits close enough. Now then, I want to get our bone folder and go all over this to make sure that glue is smoothed out. We want this side to be as smooth as we can make it, because this is our writing side. Now, if you wanted to, you could go in and put glue on top of this or Mod Podge or something, kind of make it a little shinier, and that would be fine. But I'm not going to do that. I am going to rough up these edges just a little bit on the front, and in a minute I'll tell you why I'm going to do that. Make sure that's really good and down. And I think that's got it pretty good. Now then, let's put the heat gun on this just for a few minutes and let it kind of dry really good. I think that's got it good enough. Now then, get all this out of the way. Now, I wanted these edges roughed up just a little bit because we're going to put some gilding wax, or this is metallic wax. Anyway, and I love using this stuff. I absolutely love the smell of it. And if I can get it open with my poor arthritis hands, we're going to use this one. We may have to get another color. My hands sometimes just don't work very well. So let's see. There's another one in bronze. Let's see if I've opened this one. Yeah, this one has been opened. That one has not, which is when I'm opening it for the first time, sometimes I have to get my husband to open it for me. Now, this is a bronzing color, and I chose this because if you can see this little writing back here and some of the little details in the frame and the flowers and things has a little bronze color to it. So, now, you don't have to do this with your finger, but I do. It just smells so good. And we're going to go right around the edges. I want to make sure that we get the edges on the edges of the cardstock really good. And then this can just be haphazard, however you want to do it. I want it to look old. And so don't be skimpy. I love using this stuff. It's just really finishes off what you're working on, to me. It gives it that really old vintage gilded look. You know how you had the old gilded pages that were gold on the side, and that kind of indicated if you could have one of those books that you had money, and you know. So we're going to put some on our book so people think we got money. We don't, but that's okay. That's okay. And then once the edges are done, you can pretty much, however you want to do. If you want to follow around some of these edges, some of the edges of the paper and accent that. However you want to decorate is up to you. Okay. Now then, we have this side. I'm going to lay this down, and I'm just going to put a little on the top, around the edges, and sparkle it up a little bit, dirty it up a little bit around. I'm not going to put any on her, but maybe around the edges a little bit. There we go. Now then, I have found that after you've put it on there and before it dries, if you'll take a napkin, not wet, a dry napkin, and kind of rub it in a little bit, it kind of seeps that wax into the paper, and it just makes it look old and not quite so shiny. And we'll turn it over and rub a little bit on this. I'm not as worried about the back because the back is for looking at. And then we have our finished writing board. Okay, so that finishes that up. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. It's so pretty. Now let's see if by chance I could find those little corner thingy-mabobs that I had before, and see if we can, maybe I'll put them back. That's possible. I had another box out here, and yep, I put them back. I had another box of these, not like these, but similar. Took them out this afternoon, and I hadn't found that box yet. So now we used the gold on this one because we used gold wax, but this is a bronze wax, and so I'm going to put the darker ones on here. These are just flat. They're just decorative. But because they are kind of, I guess they're metal, they're very thin, though, kind of a laser cut metal. I am going to use my Fabrifix glue it sticks better when you're using different things. And so we're going to put this one right here. Hold it for just a second to kind of let it adhere, and then go ahead, because we're gonna put 4 on each side on the front, and we'll put 4 on each side on the back. Now you don't have to put anything on here. Your board is perfectly fine the way it is. I just think these are pretty and kind of give it that old vintage rich look. And so we'll put these on here. And then before I do anything with this, I am going to put it under a stack of books so that these all adhere evenly and smoothly and they don't buckle. You have to be kind of careful with these because they will bend very easily. So you can bend it very easy. The good thing is that it bends back out. So that makes it kind of nice and kind of easy to work with. So, and I just love these. I think they're so pretty, and the filigree in it and the ornament look, and so we'll just position it right there on the corner. Hold it just for a second and let that glue set. Make sure it's not hanging over. We'll flip it over and we'll put the 4 on the back. And this is starting our Magic Monday for April. This is our first one. And you know, if you've been watching very long, Magic Monday products are the projects that we put in our journal. We made a journal, and mine is going to be huge by the time I get through. By the end of the year, it may be out like this. I don't know. But every Monday's project that we make will go in that journal. And the purpose is just so that I will be able to look back and see all of the wonderful products and projects and things that we made together. I hope that some of you have made your own journal and are following along with us on Mondays and making some of these projects yourself. I'm not, I have glued napkin fingers now. I'm not really an artist. I am a crafter. The junk journal world is perfect for me. This is what I have been looking for my whole life. I've scrapbooked, I've crafted all my life. But when I was introduced to the world of junk journaling, I had found my home. I love this. I love taking things that people would consider trash and making something absolutely beautiful out of it. So I love this world. I love the people that I've met, the people I've come in contact with, and so I hope that you're joining me. And there is our beautiful Victorian lady in all her glory with her little red hair, ready to go in our book as soon as it completely dries. So there we go. Check out my other videos. See what else we're making, what else we're doing every Monday. I also do a video on Wednesdays. Those are not necessarily, they may just be projects. They may be who knows what, but not necessarily to go in a journal. So some things we make will go in a journal. Some things we make will not. And so check back on Wednesdays and see what that holds for us. On after the last Monday and the last Wednesday of the month, then we do a drawing and we give away all of the prototype projects that we made for that month. And so some person wins 4 to 5 projects depending on how many Mondays or how many Wednesdays are in that month. And there we go. Also, check out my store. I have an online store at www.pinkdragonflywingz.com. We have all kinds of cool things in there. Check that out. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter. It's about time for it to come out again. We do a monthly newsletter that has just information and cool stuff. And if you have any ideas, I have never done a newsletter before, so if you have any cool ideas about things you would like to see in the newsletter, please drop me a line and let me know. My email address is Pams, P-A-M-S, Pink Dragonfly Wingz with a Z, @gmail.com. And let me know what you think. Give me some ideas, and we'll try to incorporate that. In the meantime, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Happy crafting.